Beer is made of water and hops and malt and yeast and crickets.
Cerveza es hecho de 4 ingredientes, no lo que está hablando este señor. Y la mejor cerveza viene de los países de Latinoamérica.
Whatever he said. He's Ricki Ricardo. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at Well Crafted Brewing in Lansdale for an all-new episode of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Maker's Passport. Download your free digital pass and sip your way through Montgomery County. By the Conshohocken Brewing Company, featuring 4 locations and available at beer retailers throughout the tri-state area. And by support from the Pennsylvania Malt and Brewed Beverage Industry Promotion Board and grant funding from the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.
Hey, welcome to an all-new episode of What's Brewing. I'm Glen Macnow of WIP, joined by my pal Ricki Ricardo, also regular on WIP. You'll hear him doing Eagles games in Spanish. If you travel a little north, you'll hear him doing Yankee games in Spanish. We're at Well Crafted Brewing in Lansdale, terrific place. I really like their beer. What are you drinking to start here, Rick?
Oh, this is good. This is Fest beer in the tradition of Oktoberfest. It's a fine German lager. Very, very, very crisp. I love it.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. This is their Cirrocumulus double dry hopped, a double IPA, 5.8%. You know I'm a fan of the hazies. If I can't see through it, I tend to like it, and this is one of them. All right, you may have the goal of drinking your way around the world with beer. We've done it. We've had beer from a lot of countries. When Rick was with us last time, we did Mexican beers, we did Spanish beers. Today, Latin America, because why not? So I brought you one. This is called Cuzqueña. This lager from Peru. Now, one of the things that hand me a couple of those tasters, I'm sorry. One of the things that is true about beers from Latin America, like Mexico and Spain, is they tend to be lagers and pilsners, very crisp, pretty light, not really the heavy stouts that or double IPAs that we've gotten into. This, Rick, all malt lager from a mystical location of Cusco, Peru, which is where they have the volcanoes. So it is made from water that is run off of the volcanoes into the rivers there. So glacial.
If you're going to Machu Picchu, for example, this would be the beer of choice. Let's try it.
That's right. Highly carbonated, kind of straw-colored, crispy. I like it. Goes back 110 years. Was founded by Germans who settled there, German immigrants in the country, but it's got that Inca culture in it. I think it's good. The bottle, as a matter of fact, you mentioned Machu Picchu, right there on the bottle.
There you go.
There
Sabroso.
You go. All right. What'd you bring?
Bueno.
I agree. What'd you bring me, my friend?
Well, my friend, this is the traditional beer of the Dominican Republic and the preferred beer of the Dominican baseball player, and it is the classic Presidente.
So
magnificent.
I have had this beer and love it. Get a couple of tasters. Let's try this. I know you certainly have had more than your share of this, right?
Oh, absolutely. Presidente, as I mentioned, is not only the official beer of the Yankees on the radio, but it is the preferred beer of the Dominican baseball player. It's the celebratory beverage when it's a big win after a game. You don't go for just the simple stuff. No, you break out the Presidente.
So I had the good fortune of going down to the Dominican years ago, and I got to write some stories covering winter baseball down there, which I loved it. And it was hot, and the fields were dusty, and by the end of the day, it's 95 degrees. You're caked with it, and so on. And there was a restaurant right near the ballpark in Santo Domingo where you could get a Presidente and a lobster for $9. It was the greatest. I loved it, and I've had a really soft spot for it ever since then. I like this beer. I mean, it's not heavy drinking. It's just light and fun and crisp.
And the funny thing is, the Dominican ball players will tell you that there's a little bit of a difference between the Presidente you can get in the U.S. and the one that you drank.
Okay,
in the Dominican Republic.
So we've had this discussion with Guinness. Is the Guinness in Ireland you get different than the Guinness you get here? You know what the difference is? you're drinking it in the Dominican. That's the difference, is that you're enjoying it down there. There you go. This is, what else do I have? This is medalla.
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 Which means medal.
There you
like
go.
a gold medal.
Okay, that is from Puerto Rico. Brahma from Brazil. Been around since 1888, that beer. And this, I love the snub nose cam. This is Prestige Lager from Haiti. Who knew they made beer in Haiti? Now, one other story I want to get in here, Rick, because this is interesting. Because of drought, because of climate change, it is harder to grow barley. It is more expensive to grow barley. It's becoming problematic. So what's a substitute? What can you do? Well, in Mexico, the Querétaro, pronounce that one for me.
Oh, ese es el Querétaro.
There you go. I was close. Which is a local craft breweries out there have tested substituting out barley and putting in lagria. Do you know what lagria is?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that would be crickets.
Well, in fact, it is. And Rick, I secured some. I was not able to get the beer, unfortunately. We would have tried the beer. Don't export it out of Mexico. But I got the crickets. So here's the thing, Rick. I think we owe it to our viewers to give this a try.
I think you owe it to our viewers to give this a try.
I suppose. I am the regular. Anyway, all right, here we go. I have had cricket tacos before at a nice place called Zolo. Hold on, I'm going to need a beer with this. Off of Lancaster Avenue. These are the crickets. They look like crickets. The ones I got here were, this is the smoky barbecue flavor.
Oh, that makes all the difference.
Cricket. So I think that's going to be good. All right, you ready? We do anything for TV. 1, 2, 3, go. You know what? Tastes like popcorn. Here. You want some?
It's okay.
All right. You know what? There's not. The legs are a little creepy, but it's not bad.
See, in Colombia,
Yeah.
we have ants that are little beer snacks. You've heard of these, right? They're called.
Fire ants?
They're like fire ants. They're called culonas.
Yeah.
Because they have a big backside, and they dry them up.
And they
they're
do 'em?
almost like beer nuts.
Well, there you go. Much the same. Not the worst thing I've ever had. And the beer really does help. All right, coming up, we got a funny feature. If NFL teams were a style of beer, what would they be? Rick and I will go through the NFC East and have some fun with that. Oh man, I'm still tasting those, let me tell you.
I'm still drinking this.
We're at Well Crafted Brewery in Lansdale. Ricki Ricardo, Glen Macnow. What's brewing?
When you vacation in Montgomery County, PA, your money worries get a vacation too.
Oh, you gotta get your value.
Feel free to explore the soldiers' huts.
Free?
$4, that's it? Keep the lettuce coming, Diane.
Parking is free!
Hey, it's free!
With so many affordable things in Montgomery County, go ahead. Freak out.
Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. I'm Glen Macnow. This is my pal Ricki Ricardo drinking a...
Blonde Americano. It is a blonde ale, very, very tasty, and I like the color.
It does not surprise me that you went for that one.
Well, my wife is a blonde Española, but she's here, and I'm American. I was born in New Jersey, so
There you
I'm
go.
Americano.
That's
Blonde
right.
Americano, everybody.
I'm drinking the Cacao Caliente at 8.8%. I love this. This is a really good beer.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay, we've been having fun all season with our photo contest, and this we're going to show you what we asked for this week, which was a picture of you with the oldest can or bottle you have. And Rick, what I discovered is people really save that old stuff. We're going to show you the winners for this week. This is Megan Walsh Boyle. This is Esslinger, her with some Esslinger beer, which, by the way, that existed from 1868 to 1964 at Callow Hill and Ridge. Tom O'Shea saved us this Sassy Cola malt liquor. What the heck is that? It was a malt
Sassy Cola?
It was a malt liquor from Wisconsin designed to taste like cola.
Ooh.
Shockingly, they went out of business. And this, finally, Mike Raup with the Stegmeyer. By the way, Mike, great job, because he's got the shelf, he's got the milk cans, he's got the truck, and he's got the hat. You are all invited to the year-end party that we're going to be holding at Ship Bottom Brewing. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you there. Here's this week's contest, and this one's going to be a fun and easy one. We need a picture of you drinking beer at a sporting event. Everybody's got that, including this beauty. This is Ricki Ricardo. Where are you tailgating here, Rick?
This is a Eagles tailgate right before opening night, before the Minnesota Vikings. Mm-hmm. And I'm out with a great group of guys. They brought a mobile home, their own DJ.
Oh, I love those guys.
Tremendous grill. They were there all day long and invited me to have a cold one with them. So that's me right outside of Lincoln Financial Field with real Eagle fans getting ready for football.
That's great. Those people who go to the Eagles games, some stay in the parking lot the whole
day. These guys were there from 7 o'clock in the morning.
I love those people. Anyway, send us a picture of you at a sporting event. Send it to @RealGlenMacnow on Twitter, or at What's Brewing PA on Twitter, or my Facebook page, or whatever. But make sure you send it to us, and we'll get you to the year-end
You know what
party.
I did find?
What's that?
In the back of my fridge in Florida. Unfortunately, I couldn't fly it up for the picture. A can of Rheingold Extra Dry.
Oh, Rick. How long you had that?
Oh, that's been around a long, long time.
All right, so there's a funny thing that a magazine did. Let me find exactly what it was. A website called Hop Culture, which is a beer website, where they basically looked at the storyline for each of the 32 NFL teams and paired it with a certain beer style. Are they reaching? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Potentially critical, understanding that it may upset people, but we think it is fun. And we also understand that storylines can change. But as we're doing this, as we're taping this, here's the storyline for the 4 NFC East teams and how what beer they would be. All right, so I'm going to go first. This is the Commanders. Although other teams occasionally put themselves up for contention as the most polarizing team in the NFL, the Washington Commanders certainly have a W on that. In July, Daniel Snyder finally sold the team for $6 billion. More laughable than that, the NFL slapped him with $60 million in fines after that for sexual harassment. Since Snyder brought the team in 1999, he contentiously wrapped it in scandal and controversy, refusing even to change the name until big-time partners threatened to pull their sponsorship. All of this is to say, the Commanders under the new owner, Josh Harris, by the way, no picnic there, finally hope to pull out of the sordid shadow, but the team remains as polarizing as pumpkin beer, the off-malign, sometimes loved style, the perfect fit for that team to reclaim its narrative. They're pumpkin beer. What do you got?
Well, I'll tell you what. A team that we all love to hate in this city, the Dallas Cowboys, although they've started very, very good. Now, how many times has America's team underperformed when they've had the team and Jerry Jones has had, the cock of the walk type of attitude, and then they fall flat on their face? Well, because of that, and because every year the Cowboys continue to consume the conversation, but they fall flat on their face, a session IPA certainly has had their time in the spotlight, but these crushable low ABV versions of America's favorite beer style aren't the darlings that they once were years ago. More often than not, they completely disappear, just like the guys with the stars on the helmet. That describes the Dallas Cowboys perfectly. Much is expected, not much shows up. A crushable, lower strength version of America's favorite team, America's favorite beer, not the Dallas Cowboys.
Well done, Rick. All right, New York Giants, here we go. We know that Daniel Jones got his big payday earlier this year. Saquon Barkley got less than he was worth earlier this year. They have a stout receiving core, maybe, of Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Isaiah Hodgson, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Not the flashiest, but it looks deep. Last year, the stout G-men, you see where I'm going, made it as far as the divisional round where they got crushed by your Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe this year they move forward. I don't think so. Sometimes with stouts, achieving greatness takes time. Cellaring for a year or two, cellar, they've been there, brings more depth and complexity. As stouts prove, some things are worth the wait. With this season, Giant fans may understand that better than any. They're the stout. That's a reach, but I like the theme. All right, you get to do the Eagles, my friend.
Our Philadelphia Eagles, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the question. Do quadruple IPAs exist? Is Jalen Hurts for real? Yes. on both accounts. Yes, si, senor. So, a style you won't see very often, quad IPAs, ones that loosely hit around 10% ABV or above, aren't technically defined by any organization such as the Brewers Association, but breweries are making them, and you should be buying them. Just like we're buying the Hertz-led Eagles in 2023, and we're going back to the Super Bowl, God willing, in Las Vegas. In fact, we're still talking about whether the Philadelphia quarterback is legit. Why are we even questioning this? Last year, he threw for 22 touchdowns, running for, I don't know, another 12, all while the Eagles are marching their way back to the Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to being in Vegas along with you for the Eagles' revenge. So a quadruple IPA, expensive and complicated to make, but they require a whole lot of everything that we discussed, not any of those crickets. But that is what the Philadelphia Eagles fly, a quadruple IPA on the road to victory.
All right, that was stupid, but it was a lot of fun. Rick, nicely done. Coming up, we're going to go to France, talk to our pal Joe Sixpack. With Ricki Ricardo, I'm Glen Macnow. Well-crafted brewing in Lansdale. It's What's Brewing.
Hey, Ben. Glenn.
Hi, Andrew Colligan, purveyor of fine Conshohocken Brewing Company beer. I find myself in a bit of a quandary, Andrew. I love Conshohocken Brewing Company beer, but which one is my favorite? Ooh, I do love Type A IPA.
Our #1 selling beer for a reason.
Yes, and Hazy Life Coach IPA. Oh, this one is delicious.
Hazy, juicy goodness.
And wonderful, and who wouldn't love that? Who doesn't love Ring the Bell American Lager?
The perfect choice to pair with our Philly sports teams or anytime.
You know what? I think it's Ring the Bell for me, but now the question is, what's the right quantity?
I think I might have something perfect for you. Ring the Bell 12-pack.
Why, you've nailed it. Now available in convenient 12-ounce 12-packs at any beer store near you. This is wonderful. But how will all of this fit on the back of my horse? Well, welcome back to What's Brewing, always a fun part of the show when we travel 3,612 miles to France to check in with our pal Joe Sixpack. And Joe, even though you are over there, I want to talk to you about some things that are going on over here. Some closings in the business. We never like to see those. Liquid Art in Spring Garden is closing. What do you know about that?
That's well, they were known as Roy Pitts from Chambersburg, PA. They had a great location there on Spring Garden Street. Wonderful barrel program, lots of sour beers and so on. A lot of people didn't recognize their name, perhaps, because they may have known them as Roy Pitts. But yes, they decided to close it up, that unit, but they're going to still continue out in Chambersburg.
All right, similarly, Lunacy in New Jersey is closing, and this is a story, it appears to be a victim of the really restrictive laws over there. That's what they're saying.
Lunacy had a lot of great rep in South Jersey, and yes, they turned right and aimed their finger right at the laws in Jersey, which we've talked about them any number of times. But we basically they treat these breweries as something different, special, and they don't get any of the kind of opportunities to market themselves that regular restaurant bars do. And this is a licensing issue, I understand that, but it's also putting a crimp on their business. For example, not being able to have TVs or many TVs in their place, or being limited on the number of events, and certainly not being able to serve any food. That's a killer.
Yeah, it's really difficult to operate a business on that side, to operate this business on that side of the river. Good news, some openings. Our friends at McAllister who make that great nut brown ale, they got a new location.
Yeah, they opened up a tap room at the former Carriage House I saw out in East Greenville. Great news for them. This is a tactic that a lot of breweries will do, where they open up another or second location because of Pennsylvania's rather liberal rules that allow a brewery license to have more than one location. So that's good news from them. And also, I think similarly, Second Sin, where we did the show I think last year, 2 years ago, up there in Bristol, they're opening up a separate tap room in Newtown.
Love to hear all this. And finally, Iron Hill they're extending their footprint out west.
Yeah, actually north, Glen, to Lehigh Valley.
West to me.
Which, yeah, it is from us, from the Philly point of view. It is. I was surprised. I thought they are actually already up there, but they had been expanding to the south, but now they're opening up apparently a unit in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, at that big shopping mall up there. So good news for them. So we're getting like these conflicting things. We're seeing closings and openings at the same time.
Okay, so big picture, what's happening in the industry?
Well, it's hard to put really what's going on here because, frankly, the best I could say is probably it's a bit of a sorting out. We're at a point now where a lot of the small breweries that opened up 8 or 10 years ago, they're owned by people who were sort of waiting to get past the pandemic and see how their business grew. And for a lot of them, they're saying, the growth is just not there, and now's the time to bail. But meanwhile, we're seeing other companies that see, things are looking still pretty good and they're working hard and they see an opportunity to grow into some of the territories that are now vacant.
Beyond these industry trends, what are the biggest reasons breweries fail? And I'm just going to do one that we shared, which is a few years back. We went to an opening of a new place. I'll leave their name out. They did not survive out in Abington, Jenkintown area. And you and I went there the first night, and we got really bad beer. And the reason was because they had not calibrated their tanks, and everything was off. And rather than toss it out, they served it, and they were closed in 6 months. Why do most breweries close?
Yeah, that was a boneheaded mistake. And honestly, that's not why most breweries close these days. Generally speaking, breweries, even the really small breweries, are making very good beer. They've been well trained. They've got great business acumen. They have a lot of support. Most of the people that we see brewing these days have been brewing at different places, or they've got an amazing cred of home brewing that they've managed to leverage into a full brewery. I think that the biggest problem it's for any business, and that's capitalization. They don't have the moolah to expand and buy the new equipment that they need.
Joe Sixpack, always a pleasure. We will talk to you soon, and we'll be back with more of What's Brewing.
I'm Rachel Riley with the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board, and I'm here with Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Darius Slay and Chair of the Montgomery County Commissioners, Ken Lawrence. And we're here to ask you to donate to the 9th annual Freedom from Hunger Food Drive.
With the rising cost of food, the need is greater than ever.
Funds will be used to help support almost 70 free meal providers throughout the Monco Anti-Hunger Network.
For every dollar, 7 meals can be provided.
To donate, visit valleyforge.org/hunger, and thank you for your generosity.
Welcome back to What's Brewing. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at the Well Crafted Brewery on Madison Street in Lansdale. It's such a great place. Ricki Ricardo, what are you drinking there, my friend?
My friend, this is a bear. Also, and it is a fine dry hop saison, very crisp. It's a bear. I see other animals on the table, but it's the Oso, and it's very, very good.
All right, we're here with Doug Bellinger, who's the co-founder of it, who's got that. By the way, I love the can with the tiger tails on it.
Yes, I'm drinking our Tiger Tail, which is our cream ale. So Glenn and I were chatting it up, and he has a little bit of cream ale background.
Two upstate New York guys grew up on Jenny Cream. There you go.
Right.
Nice stuff.
One of our favorites that we have around here, and we brew it in honor of our past life at RIT.
Oh, you went to Rochester Institute of Technology Tigers. Look at
Yes,
that. Look at you.
there
Look
you
at you.
go.
All right, so I am drinking this Pills for Puppies. First of all, it's a fine beer, but second of all, who won't drink Pills for Puppy? What is this about?
So cute.
Right.
We've got so many little puppies on it.
Yeah, what's it about?
So quarterly we do a charity beer. We did a Pills for Ukraine last, and we did Pills for Puppies for this. So it goes to Home at Last, and it helps us kind of coordinate some of our events. So we just previously did an event to try to get adoption in, but then also part of the proceeds from the beer goes back to the charities and helps us get awareness for it.
And
so.
this is?
Home at Last.
Beautiful. Love it. Okay, love it.
I love this place, by the way.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I mean, can somebody get lunch here?
You can get lunch here. So, as I was just saying to you guys a little earlier, it's cool. We've been expanding both locations, and this location, which we're now 5 years into, and we started with 3 sandwiches, but now we've actually been growing it from dinner all the way through to lunch. We got new flatbreads, and it's kind of fun because you got a lot of people that want to get out a little early in the day, come have a beer, so you can get a flight, try some new stuff. So,
Doug, you got a lot of other things going on, including you got a beer garden coming up through October. Is that right?
Yes. So Lansdale's such a great town when it comes to its parks and recs and the people involved in it. So we're actually doing a beer garden over in Whites Road Park, which we're doing it with Imprint, and we're bringing in food trucks to that. So like we've got a really good thing where people can go out, hang out outside, have some beers, and with the fall, it's perfect for it. So
Halloween's on the way. There's got to be a Halloween party here, right?
It's coming. So when we get into October, it's one of our favorite months of the year. Because no, it's not well crafted anymore. It's hell crafted.
Oh.
So all these Oktoberfest decorations will come down straight into hanging skeletons and all kinds of weird stuff. So the end of the month on October 28th, we do a Halloween party where we actually, bring everybody in for a costume contest. I've seen Hulk Hogan. I've seen actual people dressed as our cans. So like wolf pajama cans and pumpkin spice cans. So it's a really, really fun time. We have live music and a special menu, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Listen, your beers to me are your big selling point because your beers are superlative. Any particular ones that we haven't talked about today that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking of earlier, like we don't spend a lot of time on the IPA side. We do so many different varieties, and I think that's one of the awesome things about being here.
By the way, nonetheless, this IPA is very solid. Let's not denigrate this puppy because this
Zero,
is good.
Yeah, Zero is one of our favorites.
Zero Cumulus is a good beer.
So that's our second best one, and then Hopmonger over here to the left of Rick, that's actually our main go-to. So that beer now is actually moving to our new production stuff in Ambler. So we actually can do it a lot more and get it out to a lot more bars and restaurants. Same thing with our Tiger Tail side of it. And this is going to free up some space back here for us to start making really cool stuff again. So I'm excited back here. So you're drinking one of our Saisons, which is awesome. We use Oso to actually start the process of making even bigger Saisons. So Caroline, one of our Saisons, is coming, and Sorel, which is a hibiscus Saison, like that's actually coming too. So yeah, we love all the beers, but we've got a couple, that we're getting out there further into the wild, and then other ones that we're starting to bring kind of back as cool things for the tap room.
Anything else we should know about what you guys are up to these days?
I mean, we're just hustling. Like that's what we do all the time. So we're spending a lot more time outside in bars and restaurants and distributors. We signed a deal with Banco up so that we can go Lehigh North, and they've been fantastic. We signed a deal with Womelsdorf to help us out in Berks County. So we're just trying to move,
expanding the footprint. Okay, and the tasting room is?
It's 310 Madison Street in Lansdale, PA.
Okay, and?
In Ambler, we have another one at 300 Brookside Ave.
Okay, and now open for lunch.
Now open for lunch in Lansdale.
Terrific. All right, beautiful. Hey, we've had a great time. Rick, always a great time with you. Looking forward to hearing you on those Eagle broadcasts through the season. Can you give me a sí, señor to end?
Sí, señor. Muchísimas gracias. A volar.
There you go. That's
Fly,
Ricki
Eagles,
Ricardo.
fly in Spanish.
There you go. Say it one more time.
A volar con las águilas.
I'll get that down by the Super Bowl. Doug, thanks for having us.
Cheers, guys.
And thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week on an all-new episode of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Maker's Passport. Download your free digital pass and sip your way through Montgomery County. By the Conshohocken Brewing Company, featuring 4 locations and available at beer retailers throughout the tri-state area. And by support from the Pennsylvania Malt and Brewed Beverage Industry Promotion Board and grant funding from the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.